Are you thinking about moving to Sonoma County from elsewhere in California or another state? So in this video, I'll share the key things you need to know having made the move myself from elsewhere in the Bay Area. So whether it's the cost of living, the price of homes, the weather, or the different lifestyles you can enjoy, I'll cover it all off. Whether it's right for you is a very personal decision, but it's important to know what you can expect. Everyone knows about the world-class wineries, but there's a lot more to deciding to move here than just moving somewhere because of the wine, although I have to say it definitely helps. As someone who moved here from the Bay Area less than 5 years ago, but having owned a second home in Sonoma County, prior to that, I'll share my personal experiences. So first off, let's talk about the cost of living. The cost of living in Sonoma is 52% higher than the national average, according to the Council for Community and Economic Research. However, it's more likely that you're looking to move here from elsewhere in California. And compared to the rest of California, the cost of living in Sonoma County is actually only fractionally low, I think it's about 1.3% lower than the California average. The cost of housing is clearly a major consideration for anyone who is looking to move here, either because of a new job or if you're looking to retire here. As you'd expect, with median house prices now over $800,000, the cost of homes is a lot more expensive than the national average. In fact, by over 160%, which is pretty frightening in its own right. However, it's all relative. If you are moving from San Francisco, where the median home price is over 1.4 million, you'll get more for your money in Sonoma County than you would there. In fact, one of the reasons the Sonoma County market has continued to perform so well is that a lot of homes are purchased by people who are earning Bay Area salaries. So even with the higher interest rates, homes in Sonoma County are still relatively affordable. Of course, where you decide to purchase within the county will make a big difference as to what you get for your money. For example, if you buy a place in Russian River where the median price of a home is under $550,000, you can get a really nice home for $1 million. However, if you're looking to buy in one of the more expensive towns, such as Sonoma or Healdsburg, where median prices are, say, $1,050,000, you will need to increase your budget quite considerably to get a comparable property. So what about the job market? Well, compared to Napa County, where wine and hospitality are pretty much the only industries, Sonoma County has got a broad range of local industries beyond tourism and hospitality. For example, it's got a couple of large healthcare facilities, including Kaiser, which employ hundreds of people. It's got manufacturing companies covering medical devices, agricultural, lab equipment, as well as food and beverage manufacturing. In fact, there are nearly a third more manufacturing jobs in Sonoma County compared to the national average for an area of this size. And it also has a vibrant construction industry, as well as large retail centers in Santa Rosa and Petaluma. But if you are thinking of moving to Sonoma County, I'm sure it's not all about work. There's so much more to experience right in Sonoma County's backyard. So let's start with wine. Along with Napa County, Sonoma County is the heart of wine country in Northern California, with over 425 wineries and 60,000 acres of planted vineyard. And there's no question, it's got world-class wineries producing some of the world's top Pinot, Cabernet, Chardonnay, and more. The wineries are spread all over the county, from the inland areas of Sonoma Valley and Dry Creek Valley in Healdsburg, along the famous Russian River, and out to the coastal areas for the more delicate Sauvignon Blancs. If you are interested in wine, you're probably also interested in the food scene. Sonoma County is home to several notable restaurants, including those recognized by the Michelin Guide. Some of the most notable Michelin-starred restaurants in Sonoma County include Single Thread, Farmhouse Inn and Restaurant, as well as Bon Diva, all of which are actually in Healdsburg. While Sonoma has a number of restaurants, including Folk Table, Valley Bar and Bottle, and the Glen Ellen Star, all got Michelin mentions. But what about the outdoor lifestyle? I mean, I moved here from Mill Valley, just north of San Francisco, which is home to Mount Tam and the birthplace of mountain biking, so it's a pretty hard act to follow. However, Sonoma County compares incredibly well, although, I mean, I do miss Mount Tam every now and again, but that being said, it's only a 45-minute drive away, so that's almost on your doorstep as well. And there's no question that the cycling here is world-class, particularly road biking on some of the back roads. It's easy to go 30 minutes an hour without seeing another car or bike if you get off the mainstream roads. And compared to Marin County, everything's so much quieter. Fewer cars, fewer people, fewer bikes, which I love. Napa County also has great cycling, but it's that much hotter. In the heat of summer, there's no way to get away from the searing heat, compared to Sonoma County, where you can just head west and be at the coast in 30 to 40 minutes. If hiking's your thing, again, there are so many different options across varied terrain, from coastal trails along the Pacific to mountainous paths through redwood forests. And right in Santa Rosa, Spring Lake Regional Park provides lakeside strolls and as well as challenging hikes up to amazing vantage points with panoramic views of the city and beyond. Nearby, Annandale Park has got dozens of miles of trails that traverse meadows, forests and rocky ledges with views across the Sonoma Valley. For ocean visitors, the Corsom Trail starting at Goat Rock Beach just south of Jenner winds along the bluffs and above the sea with amazing coastal views. This is definitely one of my 5 favourite areas to hike. Just inland near Jenner is the Sylvan Trail, which heads inland into the foothills, offering peaceful walks under oak and bay laurels. And then just inland from Jenner, along Russian River, is Armstrong Woods State Park, which has got flat, easy trails through amazing old growth redwood forests. Just north of where I live is Lake Sonoma Recreation Area, which provides miles of trails for all levels around the lake up sort of Dry Creek Valley. So whether you're looking for the coastal walks or forest walks or hikes among rolling hills, there really is something for everyone. And there's so much more to do outdoors beyond hiking and cycling, including kayaking, paddleboarding on the Russian River, horse riding through redwoods, and even zip lining and on hot air ballooning. So of course, if golf is your thing, then it's also got some amazing public and private courses, including one which is often cited as the best 9-hole course in America, which is designed by Alistair McKenzie, who also designed the Masters course at Augusta, and that course is just outside Guerneville. So what are the options for choosing where to live? Santa Rosa is the largest city and the county headquarters of Sonoma County, serving as the main sort of commercial and business hub. There are neighborhoods to suit all budgets in and around Santa Rosa, from northwest Santa Rosa being one of the more affordable areas, whereas the northeast part of Santa Rosa is one of the more expensive areas, with new built homes in places like Fountain Grove, and also homes that feel a bit more rural but are still in the city in places like Montecito Heights. There are also great family neighborhoods close to Montgomery Village. If you are interested in living in downtown Santa Rosa itself, there's also plenty of options there. If you are looking to live somewhere which are food and wine centers, then you will likely want to consider the famous wine country towns of Sonoma and Healdsburg, where you'll be close to wineries and have the option of living surrounded by vineyards just a few minutes from town. And Sonoma feels, to me, a little bit more touristy, but it's got tons of charm with the historic plaza and the art galleries and some great restaurants. And Condé Nast Traveler magazine recently actually called Healdsburg Sonoma County's most charming town. I mean, it does have an amazing sense of community as well as the cute historic plaza. And given the number of high-end restaurants, Healdsburg is also fast establishing itself as the foodie capital of Sonoma County. And then there's Sebastopol, which provides a more bohemian, artistic vibe with whole food grocers, yoga studios, live music, and that sort of thing. And Sebastopol also now has the Barlow Center, which was completed a few years ago, which is a great hub for fast casual food and tons of microbreweries, which is a great place to spend a day. Petaluma, being the most southern town, offers convenience to San Francisco with a ride-share commute of around 40 minutes to the ferries to San Francisco. And it's got a really picturesque downtown that sits on the river with tons of independent shops and a growing art, theatre and music scene, as well as farm-to-table dining options. And it's the west side of Petaluma, which is where the older historic district is, which are homes where they're a little bit more expensive. The other options are more northern towns like Cloverdale, which are a bit further away from immediate amenities, but which appeal to families seeking space while still within striking distance of Santa Rosa, and which are a little bit more affordable. If you're looking to retire in Sonoma County, you'll find several well-established communities catering to retirees. I mean, Oakmont Village, which is near Santa Rosa, is by far the largest and has over 4,000 retiree residents with amenities which include 3 recreation centres, 54 holes of golf, and more besides. And homes range from condos and townhomes to custom luxury estates. Healdsburg, Windsor and Sonoma all have 55 plus retirement communities. For example, the Healdsburg Rivers Bend community is on the south side of Healdsburg. And I've done separate videos specifically on this community, which I often think is among the best value real estate in Healdsburg. I mean, it's just over a mile from the plaza. You can buy a 2-bed or 3-bed home for $750,000 to $850,000. The other option, this time on the north end of town, is Enzo Village, which is a new senior living facility which comprises 220 independent units, and there are also 54 assisted living units with memory care. And this is actually a development in partnership between the San Francisco Zen Center and Kendall Corporation. So if we look at Windsor, the only 55 plus community is Brooks Creek, which is just across from Safeway, and they have 1, 2 and 3 bedroom units with either a 1 or 2 car garage. Some of these units are attached, others are detached, but they're great units and actually a really good price point for Windsor. We should also talk about the weather. I mean, after all, I am British and that's what we do. The great thing about Sonoma County is that if you like the heat, you can choose to live inland, or if you prefer the cooler coastal weather, then there are plenty of options there as well. There is actually a pretty significant variation in temperatures due to influences from the Pacific Ocean. Along the coast itself, in the winter, the typical highs are around 55 degrees with frequent overnight freezes dipping into the low 30s. Even summer remains pretty moderate with highs generally only in the 60s with cool nights dropping into the 40s due to the persistent ocean winds as well as the marine fog. Just a short way inland, Santa Rosa, Sonoma and Healdsburg enjoy warmer Mediterranean conditions. In winter we get cooler days with highs in the upper 50s and low 60s with chilly nights often dipping below freezing. Whereas summers see warm to hot weather as highs reach 40s and 90s on average, although every year we seem to get 10 plus days that reach triple digits. And as you go up north to places like Cloverdale, it's hotter still. I know when I first moved here, the thing I was most surprised about when it came to the weather was how much more seasonal it was than living in Mill Valley in Marin, which I actually really like the seasonality. It's nice having cold winter mornings and summers where you can live outside for literally months on end. So what about the fire risk? I often get asked about the fire risk with people looking to move here from outside the area. For the last 5 years to 2021, we had some pretty horrendous fires. Of course, there are no guarantees that we won't have a future fire event anywhere in California or Oregon, the whole West Coast for that matter. However, the one thing I always say is that in 2017, there were literally no emergency communications. There was no power shutoffs. There were no evacuation systems in place, which is why the first fires were so catastrophic. Of course, we can have a fire anywhere, but firstly, I think the chances are that much lower. But more importantly, there'll be plenty of warnings, so no one will fear for their personal safety, which is, to me, is the most important thing. I mean, nobody wants to lose their home, but the most important thing is that nobody is put in danger. If you look at where the majority of the fires have happened, they've all been on the east side of the 101, with the exception of the Woolbridge fire near Healdsburg. I'm probably stating the obvious, but the main reason for that is because further west, the climate is just that much cooler and so less prone to fires. I mean, we just hope that the last couple of years will continue with no major fire events. Finally, what about the education options if you have children? If you're moving to Sonoma County with school-aged children, rest assured there's tons of really top-rated options when it comes to education. When it comes to public schools, the Santa Rosa City School District offers good public education with some really standout programs in science, technology, arts, and athletics. Santa Rosa High holds a national ranking of, I think it's like 350, which is, a pretty good ranking for the size of town. Many districts also offer immersion language programs in Spanish starting in elementary school. And every city has got their own district, all with varying standards. So it's definitely worth drilling down once you decide on a rough area you want to live on what the best schooling options are. And there are also some Spanish immersion schools that are really growing in popularity. So what about private schools? Well, from religious academies like St. John's in Healdsburg as the Catholic elementary school to college prep institutions such as Cardinal Newman, Sonoma County boasts over 20 private and charter schools. I mean, some specialize in progressive models like Montessori or Waldorf education, which have got an emphasis on outdoor learning and the arts. An average yearly tuition ranges from $8,000 to $25,000. And there are also a number of smaller private schools as well, like Grace Christian and Redwood Adventist Academy. The most prestigious private schools are both in Santa Rosa and are the Sonoma County Day School and also Sonoma Academy, which this is the high school, and it costs over $30,000 a year. When it comes to higher education, so for college-bound teens, Santa Rosa Junior College provides affordable higher education with strong transfer pathways to universities like nearby Sonoma State. Top fields of study include agriculture, hospitality, and viticulture, a natural fit given Sonoma County's wine country heritage. And the SRJC and Sonoma State are the main colleges in the county. So that's a summary of all the key things to think about if you are looking to make the move to Sonoma County. I mean, we work with people from all over the US who are looking to move to Sonoma County. I mean, the great thing is that there are so many options, but if you don't know the area, it can be a little daunting trying to navigate your way around. So if you are looking to move or are just curious about what it would be like, then please do give us a call. We'll be happy to help, regardless of where you are in your journey, and answer the questions and just help guide you through the process. If you like this video, you'll love the next video on screen right now.